Oh, you mean to tell me the team that had the ref consoling them on the sideline won? Big surprise! This was right after the refs apparently missed a pass interference call on Pat Surtain. And I have never seen a ref come over and console a quarterback after making a mistake. If Josh Allen doesn't win the Super Bowl with this superpower, Buffalo might truly be cursed.
I was yelling a little bit and he just said, don't be yelling. So, my bad. Sorry to Bill.
Sure, that's what he said, Josh. Don't yell at the officials. We know what he really said. He said if you want a flag, you gotta push that little yellow button secretly located in your jockstrap, just like Mahomes. We had Bo Leavers versus Bill Leavers, and in the battle of puns, everyone's a fucking loser. It's the lowest form of comedy, guys. As was this game for me. Yes, the Broncos played with house money, but they gave all the house money back and then went to the ATM, withdrew our kids' college funds, and lost that too. The worst part is the Broncos couldn't even generate some garbage time points or stats, so I could confidently laugh at the Chargers and the Russell Wilson-led Steelers. Instead, we're the goddamn three-way Spider-Man meme this weekend, and we all feel like we were on the wrong end of a three-way gone bad. And don't ask me what that looks like. You don't want to know. Let's just say if a three-way has gone bad, it's because the bare titty leprechaun appears right when you're ready to finish. Now the Broncos season, as wonderful a season as it was, is officially bover. Cease and desist. We've reached a boclusion. What did I say about puns? What started as a 7-0 ball game in the early minutes slid away from Denver, who allowed 31 unanswered points as they ushered in the long, cold offseason. 31 unanswered points is tough to do. Buffalo was everything you thought they would be, a three-dimensional offense that can beat you in every which way and knows how and when to turn on the jets and pull away at the exact right time. That's what they did, and that's why they're moving on to host Baltimore next week in a massive, massive playoff game. While I'm happy for the Bills, let's relive my first new worst playoff loss ever. I'm new to the playoffs and getting the shit kicked out of me. Cool. Tough loss, great season. Tough loss, great season. Tough loss, great season. Please subscribe to this football YouTube channel. We're about 7,000 subs away from hitting 700,000 subscribers. Trying to get there before the end of the football season. And if you had a problem with the officiating in today's game, don't forget my coffee, Fuck the Refs, available at benchwarmershop.com. And right now for WildCard Weekend, if you use my promo code WILDCARD, you'll get 50% off your first month subscription. If you sign up for the coffee subscription service, the subscription is the cheapest way to get our coffee. And now, as a Broncos fan, this is our year. And there's always next season. I probably should send these out to all Broncos fans. But any of our coffee subscription service, code WILDCARD through Monday night WildCard Weekend. So here's the deal, Buffalo. I'm not mad at you for beating us. Yet. You were the better team. To no one's surprise, however, if you don't use this game as a springboard to get to the Super Bowl, I'm going to be double upset at you. And if you fuck up against Kansas City and let them get to New Orleans, oh shit, I may never forgive you for that. I may actually get Sean McDermott put on a terrorist watch list. So don't test me, all right? Now, the Broncos basically had two big highlights in this game. The first one came before kickoff. And that's when likely Defensive Player of the Year Patrick Surtain gifted a football to a kid in the stands. I noted the Bills fan saying, which led to ESPN. Yes, ESPN sliding into my DMs asking if that was my video. Clearly it was not, because that would have been tough to shoot from my basement. But, of course, I asked ESPN to follow me back. And to this point, they have not done that. I got a little desperate, went back for more. ESPN still ghosting me. And if this video gets 10,000 likes, I'll try one more time with ESPN. Now on to the real game, and the second big highlight, the Broncos started with a bang. Bo Nix converted an early third down to Courtland Sutton, and 2 plays later, he took the top off the Buffalo defense. The play that failed time and time again in the regular season finally clicked in the postseason. Bo Nix drops an FDR to Troy Franklin, the Oregon connection. Finally, a couple of Oregon football players doing something in a big game. This was obviously huge, or at least it felt that way at the time. Nix became the second player in the Super Bowl era to throw a TD pass on his first playoff drive, and the first to do it since RG3 against the Seahawks in 2012. Now, this would have been a lot cooler if there was any sort of touchdown after that drive for the Broncos, and it turns out neither of those QBs got the win. Little did we know, those 7 points would be the only 7 points the Broncos scored all day. The Broncos would finish with 18 minutes and 17 seconds of offensive time of possession. The Bills had 41-43, and again, I was making fun of the Steelers Saturday night for a putrid 20 minutes and 27 seconds in time of possession, and that was somehow better than the Broncos. Then we got to see what Buffalo had in store for us, and it turned out that at least in the early part of this game, Buffalo had one thing in mind: run the shit out of the ball. It was very clear they wanted James Cook to control the game on the ground. They let him explore, and they were going to literally pick him up and move him to do it if necessary. Denver got Buffalo to settle for a field goal on their first drive, but the Bills took over after a 3-and-out. Too many of those for the Broncos offense. Buffalo marched methodically down the field again, getting into the end zone for a 5-yard TD. And it's times like these and plays like these where I do have to remind myself what a great season the Broncos had. Great job, guys. $80 million in dead cap and the first playoff trip in almost a decade. Remembering that almost takes the sting out of getting rammed in the ass by James Cook over and over again. Also, imagine what this team can do in 2025 with the peasantry $33 million in dead cap money. Now, if you don't know what dead cap money is, it's the money every NFL team contributes to the league, for the league to try and have Colin Kaepernick assassinated every offseason. Shout out to Cap's survival skills, because they haven't got him. Now, the Broncos knew they needed something to shift the momentum and perhaps more importantly, regain some time of possession. Denver hadn't faked a punt all year, which was kind of surprising given how good Riley Dixon was at faking them in college, but he saved it for a big spot in the playoffs, and Dixon looped a ball to Marvin Mims for the first down. Unfortunately, all of that resulted in
a few moments later,
a real punt, which was down at the 1-yard line. Watching your team waste a brilliant fake punt in the playoffs stings. It's like hiding in the closet for an hour to scare your brother, and instead your grandpa opens the door and you scare him and give him a heart attack and fucking kill him. It's exactly like that. Riley Dixon was the Broncos' best player in this game, and if your punter's the best player, you're already dead, just like your grandpa. Tough loss, great season. Tough loss, great season. Tough loss, great season. Here's where I feel the game really started to shift for Buffalo. Marvin Mims got rocked while catching this punt. Somehow, he also got a personal foul while this Bills shithead long snapper was standing over him and taunting him. How do you flag the man sitting on the ground getting taunted? Oh, that's right. Maybe Josh finally has the pull to best the Devil Magic Chiefs. Do not waste your great power, Josh. With great power comes great responsibility, and that responsibility is to dick over the Chiefs. Nix led a great last-minute drive at the end of the first half to get Will Lutz into field goal range, and Lutz doinked it. That wasn't even really a doink. That was a fucking gong.
Oh, no good! Rejected!
Some ancient warrior just arose from 1,000-year slumber when that ball hit the upright. Holy mother of acoustics.
Oh, no good!
So Denver could have gone to the half-tide and instead trailed by 3, and then they trailed by 6, and then Buffalo had a 4th and 1. Denver blew it up, and still somehow Superman Josh Allen bought enough time, tossed a rainbow to Ty Johnson, who, according to the review, maintained possession while his feet were still in the end zone. Yeah, I'm not so sure that was the case, but it's a good time to remind myself what a good season the Broncos had. Bo Nix, 12th overall pick, 6th quarterback taken in the first round, and he led all of the rookies in touchdowns. Second most touchdown passes by a rookie quarterback in NFL history. You could just have one in this game now. Great season. Future's bright. I gotta remember that. Anyway, that was ruled a touchdown because don't forget the Bills are the new Chiefs. Buffalo hit on the 2-point conversion, and that's pretty much when I felt like this game was over. What I am still a little mad about are all of the drops in this game by Broncos receivers. Troy Franklin made up for his insane touchdown with a huge drop on third down. Courtland Sutton, our most important skill player, dropped one. And Devon Bailey, who's been so reliable all season long as a rookie receiver, had 2 drops in this game. Here's where it was really over. Josh Allen lobbed a ball to Curtis Samuel, who cut inside and took it 55 yards for a touchdown. That was with Pat Surtain being the nearest defender. If Pat is struggling, we don't have a chance. And while Samuel was cutting through our defense, all I could think about was how we were consistently ranked as the worst roster in the league, and we still ended up with 5 All-Pro selections. That's pretty cool, right? Anyways, that made it 28-7, and the game was very much over at that point. Tyler Slappa de Base kicked a final field goal, but that's when I accepted defeat in my heart. Tough loss, great season. Tough loss, great season. Sean Payton has done a great job with this team. I believe in him moving forward, and Nix moving forward. Here's the thing that does rub people the wrong way with Sean Payton. His offense did nothing all day, right? And he and Vance were having some words on the sideline, down 28-7. Is Sean mad at Vance? That's the pot calling the kettle black, Sean. We really needed Bo Nix to yell at Sean Payton, which Bo never did. Just 2 3-and-outs for Denver in the entire third quarter. Denver couldn't even generate garbage time points or stats, and that stings because on paper, the Chargers and Steelers put up a more respectable fight. It's embarrassing to not be able to convert a 4th and 2 in garbage time. I have never wanted garbage time production so bad, and I didn't get it. Tough loss, great season. Tough loss, great season. There were no turnovers in this game and 2 sacks on each side. So this is what really mattered. That time of possession and those rushing yards. And really, the rushing yards explain the time of possession. Denver ran for 79 yards on 17 carries, and 43 of those yards were from Bo Nix. Very predictable and way too late into the game to really matter. Buffalo, on the other hand, ran it 44 times for 210 yards with James Cook putting up a $120 on the ground. So it should come as no surprise that Buffalo possessed the ball for over 41 minutes while they kept churning out first downs with their backs and with Josh Allen. The Broncos offense was on the field so little that Mike McGlinchey had to get in extra reps just to keep his body warm. The one thing that surprised me, that actually surprised me from this game, was the Broncos defensive line getting bullied and pushed around. The Bills were getting 5 or 6 yards a pop from James Cook whenever they wanted, and it made the Josh Allen play action all the more deadly. This was not the hardest playoff loss to swallow for me, and presumably for most Broncos fans, because we weren't supposed to be here, which I think is what God told Damar Hamlin 2 years ago. You must return. You're not supposed to be here. You've got to help the Bills vanquish the Chiefs in the AFC Championship game. Go do my bidding. Satan is blind to your movements now, Damar. Don't let me down. Shout out to Von Miller for never actually sacking Bo Nix, but also murdering us just like he promised with his penguin post on social media.
I can't bring you with me this time.
Now, Denver is ahead of schedule, right? We found our quarterback, and now the offseason's going to be about getting weapons for that quarterback and plugging up some of the holes on defense, which this game proved there are a few. This was not a Super Bowl window for Denver. It's just starting to crack open. I think that starts next season, and that's when the playoff games are either going to sting really bad or feel like a 3-hour bogasm. On the other hand, this is exactly Buffalo's window. I am happy for them, and I will continue to be happy for them if they can beat Baltimore, Kansas City, and advance to their first Super Bowl since January of 1994.
How about those Buffalo Bills? Right here, baby! Right here!
If you mess this up and lose an Arrowhead, or you lose to Baltimore but tire out the Ravens so much that they lose to the Chiefs, I'm gonna join the FBI and make sure your entire mafia is in prison, or even worse, Canada, where you're gonna live even longer with your free healthcare, which will give you more years to watch the Bills not win the Super Bowl. This is my stern warning and discipline for you, Buffalo. I pray to God that it works. And just remember, we're the pretty fucking cool guys pulling for you, Buffalo, even though you beat our butts. You're like our older brother. But as soon as we go through puberty, we're totally gonna come and beat your ass, alright? Tough loss, great season. Thanks for watching That's Good Sports. Please subscribe here on YouTube. Come back tomorrow for a recap of all the playoff games with the winners and losers episode. Good game, Buffalo, good game. You look like a contender.